talk about that, Twitch, because you actually bring a good point. Like these characters, the personalities, like the ability for these racers at the young age to have their own kind of persona. We see in like X Games and freestyle, it was all about persona. Your style is kind of what made you on the bike, but then off the bike, everybody knew who you were. Yeah. Do you feel like supercross and motocross has that right now, though?
Yeah, I feel like motocross. I feel like supercross, supercross is thriving. Like you can see it from the ticket sales. Like you see moto everywhere, and everyone's going. And for me, like I don't think the sport's ever going to quit growing because there's always young kids coming up. Like I feel like now like you're getting more personality. There was a few years there where it felt kind of stale, where everyone would just read off all their sponsors and give their thumbs up and leave, you know what I mean? But now you're starting to actually see personality. And I feel like too, like with YouTube and Instagram, like you can actually get to know somebody now. Like before, it was hard to connect with a rider that you like. You never knew like what they were doing, because sometimes you see them on the podium and they're so serious and it looks like they're not enjoying themselves riding. But then you see stuff that they post on Instagram, you're like, oh, that was just a normal work day for him. Like he can't have a smile on his face. He has to not like you, because if he takes you out, he doesn't want to have feelings about, oh, I'm sorry for doing that. You know what I mean? So I feel like nowadays, I feel like that's why the fans connect so much more with all the riders.
What riders like Joe and this elite level of riding that we're seeing, like we also see a guy like Deegan Hayden. Like we see these crazy rivalries that Supercross is kind of like, I would say, promoting in a way, right? It seems like the audience promotes it, but then Supercross promotes it. And then it becomes more this thing where it's more than just your performance on a bike. It's also how good you talk on a mic. Do you feel like that's where Supercross is going to eventually go, where it's more of a character persona, is like this WWE feel? I
feel like it's always been there. I just feel like you have younger kids coming up now that don't really care. They're just like there to prove a point. Like, hey, I'm better than you, you know, like, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. If I have to talk shit and get in your head, if that works, then I'll do that too, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
but that's what I like about Joe. He's just a quiet assassin over here, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he just does his own thing and worries about himself, and I feel like that's the best thing you can do.
But does it work for guys like Joe? And I honestly ask this because I know Twitch knows, and it's cool to kind of get feedback. Does it work for a guy like him because you see how respected he is, like how I would say honorable is the word. Like he's very true to himself. He's not putting on a front, very genuine. So is it easier for a guy like that to be a little bit less quiet because you know everything he says is coming from a good place?
Well, yeah, and he's still adapting to the culture over here. Like, yeah, he's been here for what, 10 years? But it's not easy. Like if I had to go to Japan and like learn a whole new language and like, you know what I mean? Like he would be around all his people. I'm there by myself with like my mom and my sister. You know what I mean? So it's like it's definitely different for him, I feel like, but he's doing a great job at what he's doing.
Yeah, like we see you in here with Joe Cancelleri, one of our JAXXON head coaches who helps train all of our athletes. Like, what do you feel is the biggest difference in terms of like the lifestyle that you live now compared to what you thought it was going to be with motocross?
What do you mean, like?
Like just the way, like I see you in the gym early in here. I see you completely focused on your passion and your craft, which is riding. But did you feel like this is the lifestyle you were going to be living?
No, I mean, honestly, like you said, like the moment I went pro, oh my God, it was the first year was terrible. Like it was terrible. I honestly didn't even want to ride dirt bike.
You didn't.
Yeah, I mean now, you know, when you're starting to be good at it, you know, maybe win some races here and there, and it's fun. I feel like I enjoy it a lot more.